Hello, my name is Amelia Slashinska. This is my client Lou Cole. Thank you for coming, Lou. Today we'll discuss, our topic will be relationships with family members. In this case, we will be talking, Lou would like to speak a little about her relationship with her mother. Welcome, Lou. Thank you for coming. How are you today?
Good, thank you. All right.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, thank you.
How did you get here?
I just drove.
You just drove,
Yeah.
okay. Was it alright?
Yeah, the traffic was a bit bad coming straight from school, but it was easy to find.
Good. Very glad to have you here. The weather's getting a bit nicer now, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Overall, are you okay today?
Yeah, obviously there's the issues I've come to talk about, but I'm
okay.
good.
So you want to tell me a bit about the relationship and the issues you have with your mother that you would like to discuss. Do you want to just tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, well, me and my mum have a very bit of a strange relationship because we were very close when I was growing up, and then there was a big time period where we didn't speak, and now we do speak, but I still don't feel like the issues have been resolved.
Mm-hmm. Why did you stop speaking?
Well, there was a bit of a whole trauma that went on, but I have dealt with it before in other counselling sessions. My stepdad was abusive towards me.
Sorry to hear that.
And he was sent to jail, but the way my mum reacted wasn't kind of how I was imagining.
Wow. What was her reaction?
She said she believed me 100%, but she didn't want me to tell the police or anyone else. She just wanted to keep it a secret and not kind of deal with it and just live like we had been living.
How did that make you feel as far as mother-daughter relationship, trust?
Well, I just felt really kind of like insignificant, and like she cared about him more than me, and that I wasn't as important to her as him, and her kind of the facade that she likes to keep with her friends. She kind of wanted everyone to think we're a perfect family, and the thought of having other people think like this had gone on in her house, she would rather have kept that secret, even though it was kind of hurting me to do so.
And did she ask you to keep a secret, or did she more likely told you to keep a secret?
She just said we can't tell anyone. So it wasn't at that time I didn't.
How old were you?
When I first told my mum about the abuse, I was 19. But I was abused when I was younger than that, when I was 8 till I was 14.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I can only imagine what that's like. But so how long would you say your mother had this idea in her head to make it seem like, it would just go away?
Well, we lived like that for 6 months, stayed the three of us in the same house, and then I finally said to her, look, I can't pretend anymore, I'm going to talk to my real dad. And then she said, like, kind of the police got involved from then on, and that's when he was arrested. But to the rest of the world, my mum pretended that she'd only just found out then as well, and that it was a great big shock to her and things like that. But for me, I obviously knew that she had known all the time, so it was like really frustrating for me, I guess, to deal with that.
Wow. And do you feel that was she the only person you told to start
No,
with?
I told one of my sisters as well. And some friends, some close friends. I was obviously frightened to tell like members of my family because I knew that I was worried that they might kind of confront him, or you know,
And
like
worry
try
about the
and,
consequences that...
yeah, like I was worried that my brother was going to try and kill him, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want my brother to end up in trouble.
Because of what someone
Yeah.
else done to you.
Yeah. So I'd only told like one sister and some close friends and my counsellor and things at the time.
So after those 6 months, you decided to tell your biological father what
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah. And then we went, when he was arrested, my mum obviously, as I said, she told the rest of the world that she just found out and that she was not seeing him and anything. But I found out later that she was still in touch with them and they were meeting up a lot and they were having chats. And then when he was put in prison, she was visiting him in prison. And
was she trying to hide these things from you?
yeah, well, I didn't know until like a few years later, or a year later, that's when we fell out and we didn't speak for a long time.
So you didn't speak to her for a few years.
Yeah.
And who made the first contact after those few years?
My mum, she emigrated to Spain and
Okay.
she was still in touch. My stepdad like phoning him all the time and things. But when my brother died really suddenly, when he was 28, and then that brought my mum home. And that happened.
So did you start speaking to her when she came home after the tragedy of your brother's death?
Yeah.
That kind of, you felt that you needed to connect maybe more for yourself as a family, or?
Yeah, well, I think it came from her really because she'd been the one that had distanced herself from us. So when my brother died, it kind of must have made her realise that she needed to come and be with the family, and she came back and I just kind of accepted it and we just kind of went on as if nothing had really happened, or I didn't really ever talk about the past. But that's why it's difficult, because now I feel like I need to get an apology from her for the years that went by.
Have you never really gotten one that you were
No,
expecting?
but she just denies things, like, you know, if I ever do say, I know, like, had a telephone conversation with, like, Brian, that's my stepdad, she would just, like, say, I don't know what you're talking about, you make things up, and she just kind of makes out like I'm delusional, really, which is really hurtful as well. But now I've got some evidence that what she did, I've got evidence of what she has done. So now that's why I feel like I need to talk about it with her. And it's like build up and build up.
Have you ever discussed this with your mother, with anyone else?
With other counsellors I have, because I've had treatment for like depression, and we've talked about the issue, but I wasn't ready to talk to my mum yet because I didn't have any evidence. But last year I met my stepdad, like, through restorative justice, where like I went with the officers and man got to meet up, and he was remorseful, and I found out from him what went on in those few years, because he was obviously being really truthful, and he told us that my mum was in touch with him and they were still carrying on a relationship. So now that I know that and I've got that evidence written down.
So you felt after you opened up to her, she still lied to you?
Yeah.
Was that more hurtful, you think, on top of the fact that you felt that she didn't want to even deal with the issue that you came with her to start with?
Yeah.
Well, how would you say her relationship with your siblings were, where all of this was going on, since you mentioned that you have told your sister, and was any of this happening to your other siblings?
No, it was just me. I was the youngest one. They'd all they were a lot older and moved out the way. She didn't, my brother fell out with her after my stepdad was arrested, because he was the one that realised she was still seeing him. So they fell out and they didn't speak either at the same time that me and my mum didn't speak. My sister and her just weren't ever very close really, so they just kind of continued. My sister tends to just keep out of stuff, so but yeah, it really damaged the relationship with my brother and her. And then obviously when he died, she kind of that's what shocked her more, because she hadn't spoken to him for a few years.
So they haven't made peace before.
No.
And your sister still to this day has not as close relationship to.
No.
So would you say your relationship with your mom, regardless of all the things that has happened, is closer than with your other siblings been since all of this happened?
No, I think because I'm totally cut off from her. She seems to be really, now that since she's come home to England, she seems to be trying really hard to make it up to us, and like with material things. But I'm really closed off to her. I don't really want to.
Do you feel like you lost that
Work on
trust?
the relationship, yeah. But I think with a full apology, I think I could move on from it, but without her admitting it. Because the time that I did ask her about it, she just kind of threw it back in my face and said that I was a crazy one, I was just making stuff up.
Do you think a part of her still doesn't believe you?
No, I think she definitely believes me. I think she's just in denial herself. I don't think she remembers what she did. I think she has wiped it from her memory. So.
Has she ever expressed that maybe she feels like she failed you as a mother, or by allowing it to happening?
She never spoke to me about it, so we've never had a real conversation to kind of get it all out in the open, which is what I feel I need, but my mum wants to run away from and not help. She wants to hide.
Do you think if you suggest to your mother to try to maybe have a family counseling session, that'd be something she'd be maybe interested in?
Yeah, I think that I don't think I should kind of talk to her or confront her on my own, because I think it needs like a third party mitigator there to kind of keep both sides calm and be like a witness really. So yeah, I think I would like to think about further down the line having a come into a session.
Do you feel that you have, I know we're discussing your mother mainly, but do you feel that you've forgiven your stepdad, but you not have forgiven her?
Yeah.
To a point because of her not admitting?
Yeah, it's just accepting what she did really, and then apologising for it rather than just denying it. Because I lived in secrecy for so long on my own, and then I kind of was open with my mum, but she asked me to keep it inside, and then that's not who I am. So even now, when I do spend time with her, I've kept the relationship going just because I've got children and I don't want to stop them seeing her. And we don't live we live like 40 minutes away from each other, so I don't see her that often. But I wanted to keep it, I didn't want a bad atmosphere at events and things like that. So that's why I've kept the relationship going, but I've not really felt like I could work on it and develop it. And
how has that affected the trust between her and your children? How do you feel with your children being around her?
Well, it's alright. I just don't, when she talks and stuff, I don't really, I don't always agree with what she says and things like that, but I find that I get very irritated by her and stuff.
The things she says around your children?
Yeah, and just everything in general really. But I think it's because
Is it always in the back of your mind?
Yeah.
That's understandable. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I don't want you to feel you have to, share more than you feel ready to. I think it would be a good idea, obviously, if you mainly, and if your mother would agree to maybe discuss this, and like you said, in front of someone else, since you don't feel comfortable enough, or maybe feel like it's not going to get you to the point you want to have, just speaking to her just one-on-one. I think that would be a good idea for you, and you see how you take it from there and get on. So maybe we can work on that. I'm trying to maybe arrange to have your mom come in if she will be up for that.
Yeah.
But that was great. Thank you. Like I said, thank you for sharing. And hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And if there's anything else you would like to add before we close up, or
No, that's fine.
No,
I'll
you-
come back next week.
okay. Are you all right?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we'll just close that for now, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay, Lou. Cheers.